I struggle with that intensity of the lifestyle, so everything just goes over my head now. It is intense. I don't want to be flat out touring and exhausted and knackered for the next 10, 15 years. But I just played Lost Beach and I played 25 hours on the Saturday.
I knew that would come in.
25? I didn't know that.
And then I went back again on the Monday and played another 15 hours. Yeah, just go for a walk for like an hour a day. I was like, I'd literally rather kill myself.
I'll do a 25-hour set. I ain't going for a walk.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a whoop still?
Yeah.
So
I haven't charged it for a year though.
We're just going to...
Been like 3 years since I stopped doing
Well,
ket. I struggle with that intensity of the lifestyle. So it's like I have an amazing show and then you go to the next one and then you get home and it's like almost like you've forgot all about it. It's almost like it just doesn't absorb into me no more. You're just like, okay, another one, back home. You're like, oh, thank
We'd like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for the support so far on this project. It means the absolute world to us.
However, we've noticed that around 75% of you who listen and watch the show haven't yet hit the subscribe or like button.
So in order for this community to grow and allow us to build this project, we have a small request from you.
Please hit the subscribe or like button on the app that you're listening or watching this show. Your commitment... What were you laughing at? I did a really good job, didn't I? Right, do another one. Please hit the subscribe or like button on the app you're watching or listening this show. Listening this show.
Remember to smile.
I'm always smiling.
You weren't.
Was I not? Stop it. Kelly's fucking waiting for us
Come on.
outside, bro.
Composed. Right, let's do it.
Please hit the subscribe or like button on the app you're listening to or watching this fucking show. Right, come on, just one more. Please hit the subscribe or like button. Your commitment is our commitment.
Let's do this.
Fuck off. Come on, more.
Yeah, I'm not going to cheeseball it up, but I'll go, let's do this.
That'll do.
I don't even know if I'd want to do it because it would just be like that.
We're rolling.
Yo.
Sound, we're back.
We're
and
back.
Over a year ago since we've done this.
Flown by.
And
I
this,
mean,
and I feel honoured that this is the last, one of my podcasts was the last podcast you did, so...
was it? Was it the last one?
That's what I just said to you, and you said that's the last time a year ago.
Oh,
You.
I wasn't listening.
Love it.
I said, when was the last podcast you did? You went, were you?
Oh, fuck knows. I don't know. I don't know.
Right, well, that's a good start. Well, how you doing anyway? I haven't seen you in ages.
I'm good, mate. Yeah. All good. Just been flat out this summer. It's just been like usual intense traveling around. Ibiza's obviously been on, so you're like back and forth from there all the time. Got my event coming up, and it's just been like so much stuff going on, but I've been doing good. Made loads of new music, so...
Oh, mate, I've been keeping track of that. I've been texting you as well. Every time I see a clip, I'm like, oh, here we go again. Fucking get that.
Yeah, I've made shitloads, actually. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in fact, we'll start there then, this summer, because I remember last time I spoke to you, you were telling us the volume of shows you had each month, and it was like, I couldn't wrap my head around that many shows. A month, it was crazy. Well, what was the volume this summer? Because we're almost at the end now. We're almost at October.
I mean, it's all varied, but like it's average like minimum like 10 to like 18. It depends though. Sometimes you get 14, sometimes you get 12. Mm-hmm. It just totally varies. The best months for me is when I have like 2.
How often does that happen though now?
Fucking never.
Which is a great position to be in.
I've never had 2 shows a month, but like that would be my favourite month because I can just chill out for once. But yeah, mate, it's just flat out. I mean, it's just part of the life, but it is intense. And like I said to you before in the last podcast, I struggle with that intensity of the lifestyle. So it's just one of them, but I'm so used to it that everything just goes over my head now. It's like I have an amazing show and then you go to the next one and then you get home and it's like almost like you've forgot all about it. It's almost like it just doesn't absorb into me no more. You're just like, okay, another one, back home. You're like, oh, thank fuck.
Yeah, that's interesting. Remember speaking to Goddard about that similar situation? So decompressing. So what he found was he was having that same situation. He was doing all these gigs and he was getting home and going, what the fuck just happened? So he would sit, he's very conscious about this, he'll sit on a beanbag and have his dog there and he'll just sit for like half an hour and just think about what just happened.
Yeah.
Because it was getting to a point where he was doing like all these shows and going, I have no idea. I can't remember.
So, sometimes you actually have to like, you go, okay, I played there, and you remember that it was amazing. You remember the visual of like your memory, seeing the crowd, how big it was. You know you had a good time, but in that moment, you're having such an amazing experience. Like you're feeling so excited about, the response that the crowd's giving you, or you play a new track and like the response that they're giving for you. All this stuff, like you're feeling at the time, you're super excited, and then you get back and you're like, fucking can't even really remember that. And then you have to like really think about, you can remember it, but you can't really remember that feeling. Do you know what I mean? Of like, wow, it was so good.
Like what it was in the moment. You can't recall that.
But the thing is, you are getting that all the time. So it's not. I don't see it as like a bad thing. It's just that you're overwhelmed with it. Your life's just so consumed by having these moments. But a lot of the travel, you're exhausted, you're tired. So like, it kind of just like flashes by you really quick.
Yeah. And one thing we did discuss last time I spoke to you was the kind of transition from when you were starting out, kind of going in and having the parties, after parties and all that stuff. And you said you were kind of going into it, almost the next chapter where you were picking your moments and stuff. Has that carried through? Have you been like staying away from the party, if you like?
Well, I mean, I guess so, yeah. But I mean, like before when I spoke to you last time, it was when how long ago was that? A year ago. So it's been like 3 years since I stopped doing Ket.
I saw you at Printworks, which we'll talk about.
Oh yeah, shit! I don't even remember when that was as well.
Exactly. But on the show, you told me you were playing at Printworks, and I said, "Oh, I'll come down. I haven't been out all year."
Yeah.
But sorry, yeah. So it's been 3 years since you stopped doing Ket.
Yeah, it must be because it was about 2 years when I seen you last time.
Yeah. So that's amazing.
So obviously
man.
that's been a massive, complete change in my life. And yeah, like with the parties and stuff, like I barely go to any after parties now. I'll only go to an after party really if it's like, I'm in Ibiza, it's a paradise afters at a sick villa. Now I just get myself home. So like, I have a couple of drinks. Sometimes I've a couple of bumps or whatever, and then just go home now. So it's that's totally different to what I used to be like. So
yeah, I know. But I didn't know whether, because when we spoke last, that's where you were with your headspace. I didn't know whether you would have continued that. And I wasn't saying I was doubting that you would.
You were doubting me, Jacky.
But I didn't know whether you would be, especially when it gets to the summer, because the summer's more difficult, right? Because you're tired and you might have had a long few days and you're like, you know what, actually, I just want to fucking let my hair down. Do you know what I mean?
It's like, I'm tired. You're tired a lot all the time. So when you get to the club, like you're so exhausted. And I have this thing that I ask my agents to do. I always tell them, get me longer sets. I just want longer set time.
Just because of that? Because to keep the energy going, or
no? I just enjoy playing longer.
Okay,
like 2 hours just feels like it. Again, it flies by. So, and I get to 2 hours, and I'm like, especially if it's a really good party, and it's one of them things. So now I get given shows where usually I get like minimum 3 hours. I'm playing some waves on Friday for 5-6 hours. So like, but I enjoy that more. But then it's one of these like double-edged swords because I enjoy having longer sets, but also it makes you get less time to rest because your flight might be like, I don't know, in the morning, you have a 5-hour set. If you had 2 hours or an hour and a half, you'll get way more time to rest afterwards.
Yeah.
And then, just, it's double-edged sword because you have a better time playing for yourself, but then also you're more fucking knackered. So it's like one of them things that you kind of...
Yeah, that's a catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was never there. I was always... I think the longest I'd done, like, when I was looking for paid gigs was like 2.5, 3 hours. But even then, I was partying a lot. I was like going in on everything. Towards the end, I was just hammering the party. So at 2 hours, I got the anxiety was that bad. I wanted to just get in, do the gig, and just get back to the airport or the hotel. And that's how I did it towards the end. Didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to get out of there after I finish playing anyway.
Yeah.
But I just played Lost Beach, and I played...
Lost Beach.
I played 25 hours on the Saturday.
I knew that would come in.
25? I didn't know that.
I played 25 hours, and then and I went home, slept for like fucking whatever day it was. So I played Saturday, slept Sunday night or whatever, or whenever it was, I slept. And then I went back again on the Monday and played another 15 hours.
Did you did keto and then you went to do...
I did like 4. I did Mexico, keto, and then Lost Beach. And then I played 25 hours and then 15 hours the next day. I just enjoyed playing that long. But of course, like I was so sober on them nights.
You can't not over there. I remember playing there for the first time. It was such an experience. You do like if you're going to go and play at Lost Beach, isn't it? Lost Beach Club, and you do like the Lost City or whatever
Lost
in
City,
Quito,
yeah.
And then you go over to where Lost Beach, what's it called? Where Lost Beach starts with an M.
Montanita.
Montanita. and you do 2 shows there. You'll do like this Friday, or you might then do the Monday sessions or something.
That's the Monday that I'm on about. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Saturday,
yeah.
Monday. Yeah.
And did you go into the cave? At
Yeah,
the back
obviously,
after? It's fucking sick. But what an experience that was, and like spending the whole 4 days down in like Ecuador was crazy. But I can't imagine playing 25 hours, mate.
I fucking love it. I could have kept going.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why or how. It's just if it's a really good energy and it's a good vibe and I'm surrounded by, if it's busy enough, like if it weren't busy, then I'd be like, fuck this, I'm getting out of here. But if there's like loads of people there and they're still going in that moment, it gives me like an opportunity to like play music that I haven't even found on my playlist yet, or music that I've been downloading, because I've downloaded so much. It kind of gets me really excited because I'm finding new music on the spot. So it's like I'm listening to a whole new set, but I'm playing it. So I'm just like, this is fucking sick. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know how I do it, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
It's really good.
It's really good.
So since then, like a year ago, I remember you were saying it was actually after we spoke, you were getting into your fitness. And I mentioned it before, but I will bring it up again. I remember you saying about you were told to get steps in to kind of up your energy expenditure. And I remember you saying, fuck that. I'm sure this is what you said. You went, I'd rather fucking die. In a voice note, you went,
no, yeah, to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go for a walk for like an hour a day. I was like, I'd literally rather kill myself.
I'll do a 25-hour set. I ain't going for a walk.
Yeah, mate, but the thing is, you lose fucking shitloads of
exactly.
Oh, you have a whoop still?
Yeah.
So
I haven't charged it for a year, though.
I was just going to say, that whoop, if you did a 25-hour set, went to bed and went back for another 15, whoop would go, take it off.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You have that body battery thing, don't you, or whatever it's called. It's like
HRV levels and all the rest of it. Yeah. Basically, it'd say to you, like, just forget it.
Yeah, well, I did an 8-hour set with Sydney Charles at Elro. They do like the all night long in the main. No, I think it was 5 or 6 hours, actually.
Yeah.
And the Whoop told me I did like 25,000 steps or something. Burnt 25,000 calories, sorry.
Yeah.
Something mental.
What?
Yeah.
25,000 calories?
Something mental.
You haven't even got that on you.
Yeah, I have. I swear to God, it was like, I wish I could even find that. But I swear to God, afterwards,
I was
going to look at my Whoop history, but I realised I don't even have it.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. The Whoop thing, I've thought about that, but then people were saying you get really into like the analytics. There's way too much data, and you just become like so obsessed. I mean, the Apple Watch is enough for me.
Yeah.
But those things are like, I'm sure if you have some people have a pint or 2 pints to get up next morning, it goes, you've got 6% sleep.
Yeah.
Like your sleep was shit because you've had like 2 pints. And
Yeah.
That's scary if that's true.
Yeah, one drink, it says that you're like you're in red on your when you wake up, like your rest, recovery, sleep, and everything's like proper low just from one drink. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's scary. It's fucking poison though, isn't it? It is actually poison. I read this book, Alcohol Explained, because I was trying to it was the year I stopped. The last January, I read this book, and it's basically saying that alcohol is obviously watered down in forms of like vodka and all this stuff. Like 100% alcohol, if you put it in your mouth, you would immediately throw up. Like instantly, your body just rejects it because it's poison.
Yeah.
It's just poison. And I remember reading that and going, oh, maybe I shouldn't drink any of that then. for like a year, until I went and seen him at Printworks.
Oh, so it's my fault.
So it was his fault. That wasn't. It was
my
completely
fault. You relapsed.
But mate, yeah, relapsed. So basically, wAFF, I hadn't been drinking all year, and I think it was September, October when we recorded last time, and he said, "Oh well, if you want to come out like on a sober one, like I'm probably going to dodge in and dodge out, but I'm playing at Printworks on November something 12th," and I was like, "All right, I'll think about it." And I messaged him next week, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll fucking come. Fuck it, I'll be good. I'm gonna drive and shit." And I was like, towards the end of the week, I was like, "I'm not gonna drive. I'm just gonna go and I'll be good, but I'll get the last train back." And then I remember sat in an after party in fucking Hackney at 4:30 in the morning, surrounded by people I half didn't know, and like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like just going back into like old habitual patterns and being like, I used to do this all the time, but I'm kind of having that awareness, like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I had so much fun. Like wAFF played a fucking 6 set, and I saw some other people. Richie played as well, and I saw some awesome music. Heard some awesome music, and I could have easily gone home because it finishes at 10 or 10:30. It's an early finish, but then we're like, "Oh, you're gonna go to the after party at it was 93 feet east. It was somewhere rough." I was like, all right, yeah, I'll go there. And with it, we couldn't even get in. So I stood in this queue for half an hour and it was so packed. And they were like, oh, should we just go after party? Yeah. And then that's what happened. But the thing is, the interesting thing about that is afterwards, after the fact, obviously felt like shit, tail between my legs, because I said to Ellen I was coming home and it was like 5 a.m. She
in the doghouse.
Oh, yeah. Well, she thought I was coming home, so she woke up at like 4:30 and like went like that, and I wasn't there. And so I don't like let it down. So she was like, what the fuck? I hope he's okay. She rang and is panicking. So I got home, and then the week after I was like, I know I could have gone home at that point. Like all the fun had happened by 10:30. The music had finished. The after party and the after party, nothing really good happens there. Let's be honest. Sometimes, obviously, you might meet some new people and have some good laughs and whatever. But realistically, once you've had your fun at the party, go home and get some sleep and get up the next day. And that's what made me realize at that point. I was like, if I go and do this again, I'm not going to the after party. I think I am completely done with after parties.
Yeah, that's just
the crack on. I think I'm done completely with that.
Yeah.
It's done. I think I've
until you go and see wAFF again.
Yeah, well,
and then you might be end up back there.
No, yeah. I'll fly you out to Montenegro next time, mate.
You won't.
See how you do.
Camille take me hostage.
I know, yeah.
How's he doing anyway? I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's doing good. Good. Everything's going sick over there. So I think I'm going back actually in a few months.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They're trying to get me back, and I'm excited, but I'm also like, fuck.
Scared. He's another 25 set income. You've set, the thing is, every time you set a bar, you've set that standard, then you're like, I did 25 last time.
Well, at least I know I can eat as fucking much as I want and then just go there, and that's my workout for the year.
25,000.
I'm fucking walking. I'm not walking. I'm just gonna fucking go to Montenegro and play for 25 hours, and that's it.
Class. The worst and best thing is when you play there, you actually stay in the hotel, which is like
2-minute walk.
30-second walk from the club. So you walk out onto the beach and you just walk down the beach and the club's there. You don't have to go anywhere.
That's too far for me. I'll just get someone to carry me. Like, I'm not exercising until I'm actually in the booth.
Well, let's talk about exercise then. So what exercise are you actually doing now?
So I was on the whole fitness thing with Sean.
Yeah, you were doing in the gym. For
like a few months actually. It was really good. Like I was doing really good until I was like going to the gym 3-4 times a week. I was fucking doing all this mad shit. Like he sent me, he got me to get these nose strips for your nose for when you sleep, and so it opens up your airways. Yeah. Get a better sleep. Eye mask, fucking tongue scrubber. And I was like, why do I need that to get fitter? But he was like, well, no, the whole point of the program was to also, I mean, you did it. Did you do that? The program with Sean, or did you just get ripped?
Yeah, no, I did. So I was doing it for quite some time, like 2 years. And then I did it with him where I wanted to get in. He basically said, you need to start running. So I started running with him.
Right.
But it wasn't the kind of start process that because we started different levels.
So it was just all about getting to like healthy habits. So like waking up and scrubbing your tongue and all that shit, which like I'm not asked about doing that. But I gave it a go, and I literally did it probably once and then forgot I was supposed to do it. But like everything else I was doing like religiously, you got an app, you got to upload like your food that you eat in, what fucking weight it is, all that stuff.
Look how angry you are about that.
I'm just fucking sick of this fucking app that he made me do. Oh no, I actually really enjoyed it. Yeah. I really did enjoy it. Things started to become tedious. I was like, to be fair, I just want to go into the gym and eat healthy. So I stopped doing all that shit. Stop fucking doing all that shit.
I saw you training and you were posting about being in the gym and stuff, and I was like, all right, he's obviously doing this. So.
Yeah, I was doing it. Like I loved it, but then summer started.
That's the thing.
And then I was like, and I spoke to you tonight, and I was like, mate, I can't fucking do this because I've got no time to even work out. And you're like, well, you could just go to the gym like an hour. As soon as you get to the hotel, you could go to the gym and work out. And I was like, mate, I aren't getting off a flight from wherever and having only 2 hours in the hotel before I've got to go to the club and spending an hour in the gym. You just got to be such a motivated person. I'm not at that point yet. So it was going great. Then summer happened, and yeah, I've been exercising here and there. I've just moved to a new place, and the gym is literally so as you come out of my apartment door, outside on the ground floor, the fucking next door is the gym.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So there's kind of no excuse then as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. Because if you aren't as motivated as, like you said, some people, it's almost like the barrier to entry being lowered, as in it being next to your fucking gaff. I mean, it just makes it easier.
Yeah, exactly. I've been there for 3 months and I've been twice.
0 barrier to entry, too hard. Can't be.
No, I've just been too busy. No, but everything's going good, mate. I'm in a good place, healthy. Like, you know, everything's like on that side is good. I think Sean's trying to get me back on the thing now, so I'm gonna maybe start it up again. No more fucking tongue scrapes and fucking nose strips and all. Uploading my fucking food to the app.
I've been doing that. I've actually been doing that and posting it on social. So I was talking about this to Pete on the way to get here today, and I was holding back a lot on social media. I felt like going through this transition from where I was, like down the route I have took with like the fitness and getting in shape and eating right. I felt, I don't know what it was, maybe self-conscious that now people will be like, oh, look at this fucking dickhead. He was DJing. Now he's posting fucking what he's having for breakfast and like trying to impose that on me. And I think that was just my lack of confidence in like because I've learned quite a lot over the last 3 or 4 years. And we were talking before with Chris, who was on our before, about like creating value for people, you know, being a servant, being a service. And, you know, at the moment, my Instagram page was all previously, my Instagram page or my social media was all based around my music, my gigs, and that's what it was for. And now it's not. It's still called Jacky Music, but I thought I've got that platform and I've all learned so much. I feel like that could help. So I started it last week, just kind of putting teasers out about what I've been eating and kind of getting in shape doesn't have to be hard. You just have to basically stick to a plan. Essentially, that's what you got to do. It's just consistency. You don't have to be perfect every day.
Yeah, but that's super fucking difficult if you're a touring artist.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when you're on the road, especially when it gets to summer, which is why I brought it up.
You can't. Think about Roger. Even he said.
Yeah, we spoke to Roger about this.
Yeah. And he's been 4 decades in. We've talked about it before, but he's clean. He doesn't do anything. He's never done the afters in 40 years. And he still finds it tough.
Yeah,
to even eat healthy, because think about when he came here, his flight came in from Miami to Madrid, and then from Madrid he was doing a gig in Albania. It was a 4-hour car journey. He did the gig, it rained. He had a 4-hour car journey back and then got here and then slept and then came in on the poddy.
Yeah.
And he was like, I've just caught up with my sleep now, and that's just not staying for no after party or going, that's just going on to the gig. So, mate, if I was in the office all day on Deansgate for 10 hours and I tried going to the gym, that ain't happening. And that's just that. Never mind touring and flying. Flying and travelling's hard enough as it is. Never mind doing a gig.
Now I've started getting really annoyed because if I go to bed, say I have 8 hours sleep, I'm someone who needs pretty much 8 minimum hours a night, to feel rested. I mean, I barely even get that, but if I have that, I feel rested. And then sometimes I'll sleep 8-9 hours. I'll wake up, I feel great. I'll go to the airport. I'll even have a coffee. And then I'll get on the plane and I'll sit on the plane. I'm totally sound. As soon as it takes off, I fucking fall asleep.
Yeah.
I can't stay awake. I don't know what it is. So
that's not a bad thing.
No, but like I've started getting started bothering me because now when I fall asleep, when my body doesn't want it, I wake up feeling shattered, even though I felt fine before the flight. Yeah. So then I'll get to the hotel and I know I've slept enough. I've slept on the plane, but all I want to do is sleep because I've just had this like random nap thrown in. And then I'm just like, I've got a few hours before my gig. And like, instead of being excited and getting my music done, I'm like, I just want to lie here and just fucking snooze. And like, I've been going through this recently. It's been really weird. And that's like making me more tired, even though I've actually like rested enough. And then also, like you said, like just eating and traveling when you're eating. Sorry, hang on a minute. Eating when you're traveling.
Yeah. Traveling when you're eating.
And both ways.
Same thing. I don't even know. In my head, it didn't sound right.
It's a magic musty sandwich.
Eating healthy is like, it's just so difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it depends also where you are. So, if you're airport food is crap.
Oh no, it's fucking nice.
Nah,
it's not at all.
It's fucking garbage though. So obviously you have all the big brands. I used to just reach for the burgers, the Mackies and shit, because it's easy.
That's what I do. I just go to Burger King, just get the vegan burger and buy 2 and just put both of the actual patties on top of each other and then throw one of the bread away and just have that and feel absolutely done in.
For 4 hours.
And then fall asleep on the plane.
Yeah.
After 8 hours sleep. What about that McDonald's thing you were telling me about before? The waffle.
Oh, you'll have had one. He'll definitely have had one. He'll be in America. McGriddle.
What?
Yeah, fucking
McGriddle.
Bro, they never do it over here. They'll never do it. It'll be illegal. They ban them.
It'll be illegal.
The government would ban it.
Why?
Tell them what it is.
It's a fucking cardiovascular time bomb. That's what it is.
You what, mate?
So 2 waffles.
Yeah.
Soaked in syrup.
Oh, right, yeah.
with sausage in the middle.
That sounds like it's American, definitely.
Oh yeah, and then sausage, cheese, egg.
Fucking yeah.
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 About 4,000 calories. Breakfast. It's a breakfast thing. You stop it at 11.
That's breakfast.
It's breakfast.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, Americans mad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's why everyone's massive.
Food in America. When I was in America, I couldn't not eat big, and every day. Like going to shops to get sandwiches like this cunt because I just want to do. Everywhere. Look, the food was amazing, but the portion size is insane.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you like playing in America?
Playing in America, yeah, it's mint.
In North America.
Yeah, I love it over there. There's certain places that are better than like others. Obviously, Miami is just always sick.
Yeah. Space as well.
Space Miami's my favorite. I think it's my favorite club ever. Actually,
is it?
Yeah, I think that's
ever.
Not ever, but like I think at the moment for me, Space Terrace is like my favorite spot to go clubbing.
Sick. Why?
Don't know. Actually, can't remember. No, it's just it has like that vibe of. Do you remember when we used to go to Amnesia when we were like younger?
Yeah.
And like you go to the terrace and like it's that like sort of vibe, the energy about it. That it's just like some sort of like. It's like a festival in there almost. You know what I mean? Everything's just like high energy. It's all really good, like the music, the sound, everything. And I think the only place that's kind of given me that same feeling as from what I used to feel at Amnesia on the terrace, like in the morning when the sun comes up and the low boss is playing or something.
Unreal.
Is Space Terrace. And like it's just every time I go, it's just exactly the same. Rammed. Every girl's absolutely banging. The music's banging. The fucking club's sick. Like everything's just sick about it. And you just, I don't know, it just has that energy and a vibe. It's just, it's just one of my favorite spots. So, but North America's got so many good places, but I think Miami is the spot right now, definitely.
Yeah, especially through Miami Music Week. I used to love going over there because you can come out anywhere and go, wow, we're just going to go somewhere else, like for 4 days. There's a party on all the time.
Yeah.
You can, and any time you want to go somewhere, if you come out of a club, we'll just go Space because there's going to be something on.
Yeah.
You just rock in there for fucking 9 hours, go somewhere else, come back Space in about 8 hours, and it's just revolving door. Yeah, Miami's crazy. That Miami Music Week. I can't remember the last time I was there, but it's probably before COVID, probably 2019. That was fun. That every year it was like just carnage. I used to come back feeling like shit. The whole week. That was probably one of the toughest weeks post party for me. Like Ibiza, I can dodge in and dodge out, and the flights as well. It's like 2-3 hours. But when you go in Miami, it was usually I usually try and tag it on at the end of like a tour. So I'd like do the tour, and then Miami would be last because if I did it first, it's game over.
Yeah, I'm actually going out there in a couple of weeks just for the night, and then I've got to get out of there and go to the Dominican Republic afterwards. And I was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. And they were like, it's booked in. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Because like, he's going to go to Miami. It's just going to be absolutely madness and sick.
You playing Space?
In Floyd, the club underneath Space, part of Space.
I've never been there.
Yeah, it's sick.
Is it cool?
It's like a little underground like club, but it's proper nice.
Man.
Yeah, it's good.
So the summer, successful.
Yeah, it's been
making loads of music.
Loads of music.
Mate, so there are a couple of tracks, Breathing, that's out now, isn't it?
Just come out, yeah.
Banger.
Big tune.
What's that other one? Is it Underbite or something?
Yes, I had my Leaving You EP, which came out on Nature like fucking June. I can't remember.
It was this summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the first EP of mine this year on my label. Yeah. Then I followed up with the last release, which was hang on a minute. Yeah, it was Rizzler and Sunshining. That's it.
Sunshining. Yeah.
Because I made that a couple of years ago. Same with like some of the tunes, but then it's kind of like left it, and I was like, actually, that would be a really cool summer track. So got that out, and then obviously Breathing's just come out.
You were buzzing off that way,
yeah. Big tune. It showed a clip of Corolla playing that at Space.
He's been like playing it all over. And then I've got another 2 remixes coming out before the end of the year. But then so on my SoundCloud now, I've got about 7 playlists, and they've all got about 15 tracks in each one. And it's like they're all just unreleased stuff. Because I don't know what happened just recently over the past this year. I've just been in such a creative space that I've just been making loads. So
this summer or just this year? Because
this year as a whole, but like I've just been like after I get back from a show, just making a track or two and then falling asleep and then going to the next place and make another couple, and then I get home and look at what I've done and be like, oh, these are sick. And I've just been finishing them. Whereas I used to do that and never finish them. So
you know what he just said there? He just said he went, go to a show and then come back, make a couple of tracks and go to sleep. Make a couple of tracks. and go to sleep. And then I wake up and make a couple more, and then I'll go home. So you just go and make 4 tracks.
Well, no, just go make the loops and ideas and
But then you get the range. I watched your it was lockdown. You did like a. Was it masterclass thing? Was it?
Yeah, I think masterclass. It weren't lockdown though. It weren't lockdown.
2021 or something, wasn't it?
I
remember watching it in lockdown. I'm sure. Or when I was definitely living at Eleanor's mum's.
No, because lockdown I was in a different apartment. It was my last one that we just moved out of.
Was it? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm fucking lying.
Anyway, it was at some point in history.
You did it.
Yeah, I did it.
You did it. And you made, you know what you broke down? Was it Fat Gash? Was it Fat Gash?
No, it was Mesmerised.
Was it Mesmerised?
Yeah. So you never watched it, did you?
I think I'm lying.
Full of shit.
Do you think I dreamt it?
Yeah, I think you're just making shit up.
Because I remember, no, I did. I watched it. It must be Mesmerised.
Go easy on yourself.
Anyway,
you bet one of them McGriddles.
One of the really interesting things about it was, and you've talked about it recently on a podcast, you were talking about your production techniques. You're like, it's hard for me to explain because I don't really know.
I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. I don't know.
Listen to this. I've spoken to him about this before, but not like on the podcast.
No, so I know what I'm doing, obviously, because I've been making music for like fucking my whole life, pretty much. But I just don't understand what I'm doing in the sense of like the technicality of it. Like I don't understand. Like when I did the Fader Pro thing, like okay, so explain how you did the compressor and all that shit, and I'm like. So I just look at the camera and I go, right, so I'm sorry for anyone who's like who's just paid for this, but I don't actually fucking know what I'm doing. I put that there, I put this little bit of the thing there, and then I move that bit there, and it sounds better. But like a lot of people give me feedback, and they're like, a lot of people don't want to know the mathematics or the technical sides and stuff. Yeah. I personally don't care about it. Yeah. I just kind of think if if you've got an ear for music, you just play around until it sounds good. Some people think too much about it that they fucking never make tracks because they spend ages trying to compress a kick, and it's like, oh, they're stressing out, and then they've spent all their energy on it. It's like, oh, I can't be arsed. I've got loads of friends that do that, so many, and I'm like, just forget about that, just make a tune. So, but it was just funny when I was doing the Fader Pro thing because I don't, like I said, I'm just pressing things and making music, press buttons, and if I like it, press record, and then finish the tune off, and it just works for me. Everyone's different, but yeah, I remember just thinking, fucking hell, like this is going to be the most stupidest thing for people to like do a masterclass, and I'm going, hi everyone, sit down and buckle up because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
That's the thing, and I've kind of related to someone who, I know people who play guitar but don't know how to read music. They couldn't explain what note it was, but they can play beautifully. And you're like, that's kind of a similar thing. You don't actually know why you're doing it or what the terminology is for why it works, but you know it works.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I just find that interesting. I find it mesmerising.
No, shut up, you little mucky cow.
Did I line that up? Didn't I?
You did, didn't you?
I walked into it. Yeah. It was that conversation you had, and I remember you saying like, it's funny because I don't actually know what I'm doing technically, but you've managed to make tunes pretty quickly. I also think that comes, I remember speaking to you about the speed you make tracks. And I think you were saying there about someone who is, you could probably say they're trying to be a perfectionist. They're trying to get that kick perfect. And that's why they never finish anything. You maybe not a perfectionist in the moment, like making the loops. But you obviously maybe towards the end when you're arranging, you might want it to be perfect, but you're not pressuring yourself for it to be I
think I just pick. I always like have a sound for a certain kick I like. I know what type of bass works. It's just really, I don't know. Because I've been doing it for years, I have an understanding and a hearing for certain things. But yeah, some people got so many mates that will like try and layer 3 kicks and it'll take them fucking ages and it'll sound shite in the end. And it's like, but they spent so long doing it. Yeah. So like everyone's just different. But yeah, maybe I'm just a little bit thick. And useless.
I don't think you're thick. I think you don't like walking.
Maybe I fluke it. It's just like somehow just luck every time.
You've been blagging it for
can't be looking it out.
How many years now you've been blagging it? You're doing pretty
15
well.
15 years or something.
Like I heard you actually made a tune from Ibiza to the club in a taxi. That's right.
The tune Ibiza I made. I think I started it just on the flight and I finished it in the taxi when I landed.
And then dropped it.
And then dropped it at Savannah's. It was
Savannah's.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's not Savannah's. Fuck.
On the corner in
no, not Savannah's. So in Ibiza, what was that? Ithaca.
In Bossa. Yeah.
No, Ithaca. No, you're thinking of Tanit.
It's
San
like
Antonio.
Jackie and Friends. Yeah.
Where you did your party.
Yeah. Fucking hell, Ithaca.
Forgot about that as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's...
Oh, yeah, because you played...
if you think about that, imagine then that you was on the plane, you was in a taxi, and you were sat there sweating about a kick and how it sounded.
Oh no,
you
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
have made
yeah.
the tune,
Oh,
so it
no,
works
yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
It makes sense though,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Because sometimes like when you sweat the small stuff for certain things, it makes sense. You want to get the detail right. If you're a painter, I've got to get it right. But creatively, I think if wAFF was focusing too much on the technicality of it, his creative space would be shrunk.
Yeah.
But for him, it works because he's not interested on fucking what the technical side is. He's just like, boom, if it sounds good, I'm going to go with it.
Do you know
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
It makes sense.
It's like what people call it, like you're in the flow.
Flow
like flow
state. Yeah,
Flow
no
state.
mind.
You get on a track and you're just in this flow state where you just like rattling loops off and like really getting in the groove. And some people struggle. I've struggled with that. Most people I know that make music have struggled with that and get writer's block, whatever the fuck you call it. And I'm sure you've got those moments. I don't know.
Loads.
Yeah.
Right now, even though I've been making loads of music, it's usually when I'm on the road now. Where I never used to. I used to do that loads. Then I stopped doing it on the road and I'd make it at home. Now it's like after I get back from a gig, I've started to actually make a lot of it in my hotel rooms before I go to sleep and move to the next one. It's usually when I come home from the shows that because now when I'm at home, I just don't want to make music. I want to just chill out. I think I've started to crave home time. I think I might have mentioned this in my last podcast.
Yeah, you did.
I just proper want to, I just crave being home. I crave having that like just time to myself because I guess the lifestyle, it's just so, I just find it so intense nowadays. Now I'm older and just can't handle it anymore, Jackie.
Now you're older.
I know,
You're my
I'm not
age.
old. I'm not old, but I'm older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not the same age as I was at one point.
I know you. Even
different
you say,
now.
even now, this point now, that's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we're older than we just were.
Exactly. See
And it keeps going
Fuck
forever.
me, don't do that 'cause my head's gonna fucking flop. Trying to figure that out.
Well, let's not go too far back, but I do want to know because we're going to talk about nature as well.
Yeah.
So, nature, the label, and the actual idea for the parties. Did they come at the same time, or was the concept to do these parties, which I'll let you talk about because I'll butcher it? Did they come at the same time, or was it kind of like a staggered?
I think originally
idea?
it was during like COVID where that's what gave me the sort of mental space to even come up with like new projects and stuff. So then I always wanted to have a record label, so it was always there, but I never really felt like I had like the mental capacity or space or time to even go into something like that. Then COVID happened, and then when I created obviously the idea and spent like 2 years working on the branding and like the whole concept of it, obviously I knew at that point that I was gonna do events. It was always part of it, yeah. So like I just kind of see it as that eventually, you know, down the line, I would love it if nature events start to become like, you know, like a bigger thing, and you can maybe not have to tour around so excessively because you can maybe just focus on doing main events like for your own events and make your money mainly there, and you can do obviously some great shows around it, but you don't have to be like flat out doing 3 to 5 shows a week or whatever it is. So but yeah, they both came at the same time, I guess, but it was always just original idea of like, right, I'm going to start doing a label. Where the fuck do you begin? And then just sketching and drawing like different ideas and coming up with different concepts and names. I actually drew loads of it in VR. Just put a VR headset on as like a sculpting app, like an app where you can sculpture and paint and stuff like that. And I used to sit in it for hours, probably ketted, and just making loads of different logos and messing around till I found something. And eventually, like me and my friend who does the art with, you know, we just sent it over and we just started playing around, and it just came to life. So
Sick. What about the name as well? So nature. Why nature?
well, see, this is the thing. I thought of nature really early on in the process of it, but then I was like, fucking, I'm not having nature. It sounds so stupid and shit. Like, I love nature. That's why I was thinking of it, because I'm passionate about nature and animals and the world and stuff. But I was like, I don't want my actual branding and my name to be like nature, because in my head I couldn't stop associating nature with fucking grass and mud and just nature and trees. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I don't want any of that. I don't want any of it. So I was like, nah, nature doesn't work. Then I was trying all these different names, and like I found a few names. I can't remember them now, but I found some names that I thought really worked. I'd go and look. Obviously, you go and check on Beatport, checking everything. Has someone used that? And everyone's used every single name ever made. And you're like, oh my God, the one fucking name that no one had is nature. I was like, what? How? But like nature was like, I came back to it. I kept gravitating towards it. And eventually I was like, if I can actually make it look like its own thing, like its own character, nothing to do with actual nature itself, but like, I like the idea of like, where you going tonight? Oh, we're going nature sort of thing. It was like a thing that I kind of like, I do quite kind of like that, but it was also cheesy. So eventually it was just working on the branding, the artwork and the design and everything. And once I got that, I was like, okay, this actually, it works. It feels like it's, even though it says the word nature, it feels like it's a separate entity from nature. It's like its own thing. So
but I think that's because the branding's clever. I like it because it does have that nature element. You've like, especially with like the visuals, how it almost looks like it's growing. Right?
Yeah.
Like some out of Avatar.
Yeah,
it is. Really, really good. I like the name. I like the concept. So I was saying that to you. You know, really, really good, and it fits. But the visuals and stuff, when I've seen them coming up on socials, I said to you at the time, Jacky, didn't I? Like, I love the movement of it and everything, and the concept of what the event's going to be, which you're going to touch over. I think it's cool. I like it. I can understand why the concept would have come to you in that format, but it's the way wAFF explained it, fucking grass and mud. Like, imagine that nature, just some turf and a little fucking just a molehill in the background. Nature,
turf and just a lawnmower as a logo.
Like one of them tractor ones.
Yeah, just like, well, shit, wouldn't it?
Come to nature.
Just some fucking wellies just like bent over some like turf with a lawnmower in the background.
Oh,
That'd be sick.
Yeah, awesome. It would have
farmers just turning.
The thing is, it would have worked as well because of your personality. You probably would have got away with it.
Yeah, maybe. I'd be like, well, fucking hell, what have we done here? There's just loads of farmers.
Now calling them
I
out.
know, yeah. Fucking hell.
But I want you to touch on the events because they are launching next week, right?
Saturday next week.
Wow.
Well,
It's 21st September.
21st September. And I've read that it's an immersive experience. So can you explain to us and the listeners, what do you mean?
Yeah, okay. So
We're not allowed to know.
No, I can now.
Okay, all right, cool.
The reason why last time, I guess it was a year ago, so I don't even know if I'd finally come up with what I was doing, but basically the immersiveness is that when you get to 93 feet east, you're literally not going to recognise any of it. Obviously, you're going to recognise you're at 93. It's not like,
fucking hell,
oh my God, I'm in Glasgow Airport. It's like, it's going to be obviously 93, but like the whole place, like literally, I mean, what I did when I first explained this to like my agent and my manager, they were like, are you fucking mad? Like, this is going to cost like so much money, and it has been like a huge amount to do this, but like there's a plan and a whole vision that goes along with it. It's not just like, oh, let's just fucking throw away money for the sake of it. It's like, I was like, I really want to put, oh shit, I thought I'd knock that over then. I really wanted to put on like an immersive event and something that stood out, that was special, that people would remember, and the only way for me to do it, I was like, I have to kind of go a little bit like over, like I wanted to kind of set a bar for like not set a bar, but almost create something that hasn't really been done before, because there's so many amazing events now. Like, and how do you come out of the gate and just compete with everything? I don't want to compete, but do you know what I mean? It's like, how do you stand out and get people to come to your event, and what you're going to do that's different? And I was like, well, I've always, with all my branding and my artwork and everything for nature, I've always just gone like as out as far as I can with it and just make it as best as I possibly can. And I was like, I have to do it. And it's just been like a vision. So basically the whole thing is going to be like, it's just the whole inside is like complete jungle. You can't see any walls, any ceilings, all a bar. We're building, there's going to be some big sculpture stuff that we're building. The DJ booth's going to be completely a whole new, I don't want to talk about that bit.
Keep some back if you want.
Yeah, basically. So you'll go in there and it's like you've gone into like, I don't know, let's say Avatar Land at Disney World, but like you're inside 93 and it's just everything's going to be completely designed so you don't see 93 at all. And we've also made it immersive, all the lighting, everything's all linked to the things that we're building. It all like connects to all the lighting everywhere outside. We've even got like, there's like sound effects going on in parts of 93 to make you feel like you're in the jungle. And there's like, we're kind of just gone as far as we could.
Wow.
To, yeah. So, but we've got a full production team, a huge production team that have been working on it. They're building everything right now in the warehouse, and it's like a full production, like massive. So
incredible. And you're going to be doing this every month, or is it going to be?
No. So this is the first, just for the first one.
Okay.
But obviously my vision is that nature will always be like that. It might not be exactly the same theme every time. like you mentioned, Avatar. Avatar's one of my favorite things. I definitely want it to feel like you go into one of my events, but you're like transported to like Pandora, and it's literally like that. Obviously, I love the idea of that, but I'm trying to keep it a bit more like cooler. I don't want it to be like a bit like, do you know, sometimes it can be a bit cheap and tacky. It's like, oh yeah, there's like this crap jungle. It actually looks sick, so we're building like art pieces and stuff that makes it feel like the artwork of nature.
Yeah.
But like, obviously, when I do my next events, you know, all this production and everything that we've got is mine now. So everything that I've got for this is mine. I own it, so I can use that again in the next one. You just keep adding onto it and building onto it, and eventually, you know, we've got a warehouse which is storing it all. So eventually, we'll just have a huge warehouse filled with all this production that you can just do eventually in time festivals or huge events. So, but yeah, it's like it's the biggest project I've ever done by far, and I just hope, I haven't obviously seen, I know what it's going to look like on like your phone, on pictures that they send me, the 3D renders that I've been creating with them, but it's scary because I haven't seen it in real life. So yeah, so I'm excited but nervous because I want it to feel, I literally want people to walk in there and be like, fuck, like this is sick. So
well, first thing is, I think it's mint what you're doing. I think that the fact that you're going, I think you were trying to get the point across, like not OTT, but like you're going in,
yeah,
making sure that you're putting on a proper show for people. You could just put a night on anywhere and you sell tickets, right? But clearly this isn't what it's about for you. It's not about selling tickets. It's about like putting on like your imprint.
Yeah, I want to. It's like more of a passion project that obviously is a business, and I have a vision for like where I want it to be. That will, you know, be a proper business. But it is. But it's for me at the moment. It was like I really want. It's a vision that I had. I had it with my label with all the artwork and doing the vinyls. I got told at the beginning, don't do these vinyls because they're going to cost so much, and the print and all the color and selling them, and you're not really like a vinyl guy and all this shit. And I was like, yeah, but I've got the vision of it, and if I don't do it, I'm not going to be happy. So I did it and sold out all the vinyls, and it was just like a massive shock to me. But it was like I've kind of trust in my visions that I have, and this is again another one. So it's kind of like I just want to create an amazing experience that's totally different. It's never been done before. I mean, I'm sure people have done similar stuff, but it's definitely not been done in '93. No one I know in our sort of scene is doing it. Maybe like Elro but they do like obviously a huge scale thing. Mine's more like an intimate sort of version of that, But yeah, I just want people to walk away from it and be like, fuck, that was absolutely sick. I can't wait for the next one. And, you know, if we can create that effect, then it's just going to be a ripple effect. To tell all the friends, we got all the videos, the pictures, and then the next event, you know, you might sell twice as many tickets. And you're like, oh, shit, we need to get a bigger venue next time. And that's kind of like what I'm hoping to see from it. And you just keep building and building.
So a couple of things that you said there. First is the purpose. We've been talking about that, like the why. Start with why. Why are you doing this? What's the purpose of this? And obviously you just want to make sure everyone has a fucking ridiculous night that they've never experienced before. Something new. I love that. And also what I like is you mentioned about the intimacy of it, because it's going to be at 93 Feet East. When you go to Elro, I've played Elro loads, and they're incredible shows, but they're huge things. Like if you do it at London Elro, or like when it was Barcelona, there's thousands of people there. But what I think's missing in the industry, and this is kind of coming from a third party now because I'm kind of out the loop, but we're losing so many small venues because you've got that big gap between what the agents are asking for the artists and all these clubs which have like maybe 200, 300, 400, 500 cap, they can't stay open.
Yeah.
So what I love about what you're doing is you're not going to go and find a 2,000 cap venue or 3,000 cap venue, and you're doing something small and intimate, which is I think what we need, and especially London. We need something or like extrovert, but not in print work. It's all fucking whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The UK is supposedly really struggling for like events. Supposedly like all the promoters are really struggling. No, I wouldn't say everyone, but from the feedback I've heard with this event and like building up to it and obviously speaking around and stuff like that, I've heard that like the UK is really struggling for whatever reason. Maybe just all the kids are saving up for all these big events, like going to Ibiza for all the festivals and stuff. So yeah, so it's been, I guess, a difficult time for smaller clubs, and I'm just super excited to do it, and I love 93 as well.
Oh, it's just
such a cool. You've been to 93?
No, I've not been.
93 Feet East, no.
Yeah, it's
really
sick.
Cool. Yeah, I've been to like loads of parties there, and even without all the decor that you're gonna have there, it's fucking naughty in there. When it's full, I love that sweaty, intimate vibe in there. It's wicked.
Yeah, it's definitely an angle to go in with though, because if you look back and think now, like when we used to go clubbing, like I said it to my friend years ago. I remember we was at Pasha at a Roger event, and it was a Release Yourself Volume 5, and he had these circle like water globes on the ceiling hanging down with Release Yourself logo with just bubbles in, yeah. And we were stood looking at it, and he had one LCD screen at the time in Pasha, and I said to a mate, when it's going to go all visual one day, in here, I can tell it definitely is. And you look at today now, like Prids with his night high, what he does, Elro, which wAFF's mentioned, and I've seen even recently the stuff that Black Coffee as visual wise at high coming off the ceiling and that, and look at Music On at Pasha. Look at Music On when it was Amnesia. Now look at it at Pasha with the visuals and that, and they're doing it at Destino. Change all the background and stuff. It's definitely the way it's going.
We've installed one of them screens into 93. Obviously, it's not going to be huge because the club's small, but they don't have a screen. So like we've built this sick thing for the DJ booth it basically grows into the whole room, and but we built like a screen behind it as well. So I have my own animator who does my visuals. He's been creating loads of cool visuals for it. But I've also been like working on AI. There's like a new AI software that I've got, and basically you type in or add images to it, and I've just been creating shitloads of like amazing visuals. So we're going to be using stuff like that as well. So that we've kind of got the idea of the visual side, but it's going to be smaller because 93 is just not that big. But still, though, we're going to try and build onto that because we really wanted some screens. We were going so far in at first. When we first came up with the idea, me and Ross, my manager, we were fucking so excited. We were literally coming up with everything. We're like, can we have water slides? Can we have a roller coaster going like from the DJ booth into like just going absolutely mental with idea. Obviously not that, but I remember like me and Ross were saying, or maybe we can have like these screens behind the bar. Do you know where if you look, have you seen them screens before where you go into the front of it and it basically shows you like your body?
Yes, I have.
You might be like a furry character.
Yeah.
We were like, what about if we get like behind the bar and we fill the whole back of it, or like along the wall, one of them screens, so everyone in the club can just be dancing but see themselves on these screens. It'd be like an immersive thing. And the guys were going, okay, yeah. And at the end they were like, so how much are you wanting to fucking spend on this then? And we were like, why does it sound like a lot? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, shit. maybe we were going a bit too overboard here, but it's like just having them ideas, and it was just the fun of being creative with it, and it was like, just a really good process.
Well, I think what I also am excited about this for you is the fact that you actually mentioned it, the fact that hopefully at some point you can pull back on the live performance and potentially use this could potentially be your main source of revenue.
Well, eventually, because I couldn't do this forever. Like I told you, I want to go back into acting. That's what I want to do.
What's going on there? Any ideas?
Well, I just waiting for a point where my life becomes more settled that I can go back into it. And like,
when's that going to be?
You're
not getting 2 gigs a month, bro. Anytime,
I know,
ever.
but like, I think I'm at a point where I've just got so much going on. Yeah. Also trying to like rebuild like my career in different ways, like, do my events and just focusing on my music and everything else, and sort of just trying to focus on the foundations to create all that. That I can eventually get to a point where, let's say, my record label, and then, maybe I start like a smaller label and do like a little, how like Enzo Saragusa's done it? He's done it exactly the way that I would like to do it. He's got Fuse, it's so successful. He throws Fuse parties, it sells out, whether it's a club, festival. He's nailed it. He's created the foundations with that party and that brand. And then he's got Locust as well on the side. So you can put Locust parties on and have all the artists come and play and do that, and he can just sit home with his family and make his music or chill out. But he's like, he deserves it. He's created all that. He's lived a life for years, and he's got a family, and it's like, that would be the perfect thing, really. I don't want to be flat out touring and exhausted and knackered for the next 10, 15 years. I mean, 10 years maybe, but 15 years, no way.
You're getting older now.
Getting well old, man.
It makes sense, though, doesn't it? Really.
When I spoke to Mark Knight about this, and he calls it, or something, I'm sure he called it like create your octopus. So you've got like, instead of just touring, because there's a dead end at some point, you're going to get old where you're going to go, I can't be asked to tour. Like Mark now, he does 2 shows a month max. He's like, I'll pick 2 shows. Because he's got the label, he's got the academy, he's got all these other things. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, whether you're running parties or whatever. He's got events, he's got the label, he's got like the academy, and then he's touring every now and again. create the octopus, so all these different legs of your business. And I think that's what maybe is lacking, especially in the ones coming up now, like the young'uns. They're coming in, they're going, they just want to perform because they're like 20. I was the same. I was 23, 24.
Mate, yeah.
I fucking want to tour. I don't want to.
Oh mate, I just
wanted
wanted to just get off my head and just travel all the time and get paid for it.
And we did.
Yeah, we did, and
it
it was class, absolutely class. But then, you know, like you can't do that forever. And
no. So that's why I'm excited about this, because I think there's potential in this for you to kind of, go into down the business route as opposed to just touring. Because obviously, I imagine it's very, very beneficial financially for you to tour. But like I said, we're not getting any younger.
Yeah, exactly.
In 10, 15 years, you don't want to be doing fucking 18 shows a month, do you?
Yeah, exactly. So then eventually, if I can create the foundations of nature in my event, then I can go into acting and go down that path. Because I used to do that, and that was my dream. Music, this wasn't actually fucking a thing that I planned to do. It just happened. Like, music just happened because I started taking ecstasy when I was about 15. I just started getting into house music, and it just sort of, I was like, I want to make music. And then that kind of came about. But then, you know, acting was always my dream. It always has been. I always think about it all the time. It's like, I'm so passionate about films and acting and as a whole. So like, that's what I really want to get back into. But finding the time, like you said, is like, how'd you do it? I mean, you could do it. You could go to, I don't know, drama classes and stuff. I don't even think I would want to do that. I'd want to just apply and do like auditions and shit like that.
But let me ask you a question then, because let's be honest, you know, you've done pretty well in music.
Yeah.
You could today just walk out here and go, fuck this. I know I'm being very dramatic, but you could go next year, like in January, I'm going to do these gigs I've got booked in. In January, I'm going to follow my dream to do acting.
Yeah. I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do it, but then probably not.
No, but I'm asking, I'm just really curious, because if it's something that you're really passionate about and you feel like, obviously, let's say nature wasn't happening, because nature, I think there's massive potential for nature. I think it's going to be great. But you talked about this a year ago with me, and you said that I really, really want to do acting, actually, and that's my passion, and that's what I've done before. And now we're doing the same conversation a year later.
Well, yeah, because fucking like I've traveled, you play around, you come back on a Monday, Tuesday, whatever, like you have a day or two's rest, and then you go back out again to go and try and do that. I mean, you could, but I think in my head I've always said, like, I'll just wait until I feel I've got a point in my life where I'm like, I can actually like venture into different places now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like follow, like you
said, I want to learn the violin, but I haven't yet.
You're going to do it?
I got a violin, yeah.
You bought one?
My mum bought me one, yeah.
Yeah. And how many times have you got it out of the box?
Once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard. Very hard.
So there's loads of things to do, but it's just the time.
Okay. So acting, violin.
Acting and violin, yeah.
We'll talk about that next time. We'll see if you've done any of those things.
Okay.
What time are we good for time? Should we do the final feature?
Yes.
What is this?
The last one, so I'll let you do this one.
Okay, well, you got it written down what he says, because you've asked.
Yes.
Yeah?
I have.
Well, what's
His one-liner.
So every time we do a podcast, we ask the previous guest to leave the next guest a book.
Right.
I don't know who the next guest is.
Wait. Say that again.
So the previous guest.
Yep.
They left a book for you, but they didn't know you were the guest.
Right. So why didn't you tell me to bring a book to leave for the next guest?
We're going to ask you next after this, aren't we?
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's got to be one about violins.
It's going to have to be a violin book.
I know exactly.
So I've never read this book, A Practical Guide to Personal Freedom, and it's called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. A wisdom book it's called. But what's the reason? What's the reason you left? So there's a one-liner why you left that book for
you. It's a one-liner with a bit of a difference. It's the 4 agreements you make with yourself. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best.
I like that.
Nice. And then you now leave a book for the next person. And what we're trying to do is to spread...
But I haven't got a book.
You don't have to... No, we'll sort it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, so I'll tell you the book. And you get it.
And we'll get it. And we'll give next person.
I've never read books.
Oh.
But...
You might have to...
No, I've read one book in my life. I can't leave that for someone because it's awful.
What's the one book you've read?
Come on.
It's called 12 Years in Hell. And it's about this heroin... I read it when I was about 11. In bed when I was living with my parents. Like, I was that young, proper young, and I don't know how I came across it, and it was one of the best things ever. But like, I couldn't leave that for someone. It's about a guy, true story, of a heroin trafficker from Australia who traffics heroin to Thailand. He gets thrown in Bangkok's worst prisons for 12 years.
Bangkok Hilton or something.
Mate, it's like the way it opens up is like just horrendous, and all the way through it, it's just about like how the prison guards just torture and fucking murder all the inmates and all these drug addicts and everything. I was like 11 years old going like, oh my God, this is the fucking best thing I've ever done in my life. Just fascinated by it. Like, I couldn't believe it, but like I can't leave that book. So
well, you've already talked about that one now. You don't have to do it now. You'll tell us after the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I have got actually some other books I haven't read, but I know that someone should read them.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, mate, one thing I do want to say, I think, and this is like for me personally, but I think the reason a lot of people resonate with you on with music or even just with you on your socials, like your wAFF world or whatever, is it's the fact that like you're unapologetically you, like you're fully authentic. You don't give a fuck about what anyone thinks. And I think it's tough for people to be like that, especially in today's like social media age. People are like afraid to be themselves and be true, and you're just not. And I've always looked at you like that, and I just wanted to say that you fucking don't change.
No, cheers, mate. I appreciate it. And I don't think I could at this point. Like, you know, when you first start out, like, you know, becoming successful, everyone's always kind of like saying like, hope you don't change and hope it doesn't change you. It does change some people, but for me, it's just never even like changed me in the slightest. It's made me like more grown up. I've matured through all this experience, but like I'm still the stupid dickhead idiot that I've always been. And like it's one thing that I do find is like I was out with people this weekend and I just met them, but they really enjoyed like being around me in my company. I guess because I'm just so friendly, and they probably see that like some artists or DJs or people that are famous, they probably don't feel like they could have that sort of connection with people. Like I'll just go and hang out with them, spend the night drinking with them or partying or whatever it is, and like they were just like really like happy to be around me. I was happy to be around them, and I don't know, I guess because maybe I'm just myself, that maybe it kind of, like you said, affects people in like a positive way, because maybe they expect you to be a bit of like a dickhead or whatever.
Yeah.
And by you not and just being sound, like for me, I just see myself as equal as everyone. There's no difference. It's like me, you, a homeless person, we're all the same. So like, yeah, I'd never be different or treat people in any other way than how, you know, than I'd like to be treated. So yeah.
Beautiful. Well, no need to go on in there. wAFF, thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.
Wicked.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Okay.